I Love You is a webcomic series that's been going on for years at this point, and it only keeps getting better the longer it goes on. I have been reading this series since pretty close to the beginning of its run, and out of the over 200 chapters in this series, there has never been a dull moment in this series. There are so many twists and turns in this series that sometimes it can be pretty hard to know what direction the series will take you. Over the course of its long run, everything about this series has improved so much, from the art to the characters and the story writing. It is all so much better than it was at the beginning of the series. Despite this series being called I Love You, it is so much more than a romance series. This series is more of a drama than anything. In these over 200 chapters, only one character has openly said that they like the main character, and he's not even one of the male leads. This series focuses so much more on building up characters and their relationships very slowly and more realistically. That's why it takes so long for the romance to happen, because as of right now, the story isn't really focusing on that. This series is a very slow burn, but in saying that, it always keeps you on the edge of your seat, not knowing what is going to happen next. There are so many different plot points all happening at the same time that you never know which one the series will choose to focus on. One minute we are having a conversation about why this one character decided to do certain things that got him into trouble, and the next we are entering a 23 chapter long backstory about our main character, and it doesn't feel out of place at all. Partially because that backstory somewhat ties into the conversation that they were having in the present day, and that is exactly what I love about this series. It can jump between plot points super fast and sometimes linger on them, and it never makes you feel bored or out of place. Everything has an equal level of importance to the overall story, which is one of the things I love the most about this series. If this hasn't convinced you to check this series out, then good for you, because I haven't even talked about what really makes this series so amazing in the first place. But before I go ahead and start doing that, it would be awesome if you could leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. I make new anime, manga, and webtoon content every single week on a variety of different series and topics. The absolute best part of this series is the characters. The character writing in the series is insanely good. In these over 200 chapters, the characters have already changed so much in comparison to how they were at the beginning of the series, and yet their character arcs have only just begun. The three main characters of the story all have so much going on at once that it would be nearly impossible to not have them develop. Shin-ae, the main character, is someone who has gone through the ringer a lot. Almost nothing in her life has gone right, and when she finally meets two rich guys, her life both starts looking up and goes further into the shitter at the same time. She is finally able to start thinking about her future, which she was never able to do before, but she also has to deal with so much more drama than she ever could have imagined in both her life and the lives of the rich guys she got involved in. Speaking of those rich guys, both of them have an absolutely insane story. They are both brothers, so their stories coincide with each other often, but they do also have separate stories. Like Kosuke, for instance, he is always trying to strive to be the best and is trying to take over his father's business one day. Whereas Young-ji is more of a wild card. He just wants to hang and be allowed to live his life the way he wants without being stifled by a bunch of people he thinks don't care about him. Since Shin-ae got involved with them, she has to keep dealing with their shit on top of her own, which makes the story keep coming to a fold often. There are other side characters in this series that also play a really big role in the story and help to shape the characters into who they are. All of them end up having to deal with all the shit at once, as well as end up being left out a lot of the time, as the main trio doesn't want the people to get involved, especially Kosuke, who has major trust issues and also has no friends. With how all the characters are written in the story, it makes this series so much better. Seeing how the characters developed and where they're going in the future has me really excited to see the ending of the series whenever the hell that happens. I Love You has some really phenomenal art. This series has always looked really good with a unique art style, but as the series has gone on, it has only gotten better. The improvements in the art make the series so much better as you read through the series. One of the things about the art that I love the most are the character designs. The characters all have a massive amount of drip, like insane amounts. They all look super clean and awesome. Everything that the characters wear really reflects their personalities as well. There are certain scenes throughout the series where you can see the creator of the series flexing hard, and it really shows. Sometimes you just need something nice and simple, and other times the artwork is intense. But the art always reflects the scene that is playing out and the way the characters are feeling during the scene. The artwork is one of my favorite parts of this series because of how good it is and how well it reflects everything that is going on in the series. I Love You is a series that I have loved for years now and have finally found the time to make a video on it. This series has been amazing right from the first chapter. It had a unique art style, a cool premise, and awesome characters. This series was able to pull something off that not a lot of other similar series can do. It is over 200 chapters long now, and it doesn't feel stale at all. Quite the opposite, in fact. It feels like the story is ramping up more and more with each chapter. If you absolutely love long-form romance and drama series, then I highly recommend that you check this series out if you haven't, because you won't be disappointed. That I can promise you.